There we go. We're live. Welcome, everybody. This is going to be a live demonstration of everything you need to know to be an Uber Black driver here in Colorado, and especially with the key takeaways of what I would have done a little bit differently if I was to redo it again today. So, right off the start, I want to jump into the requirements for being an Uber Black driver. And what better site than Uber itself? So, right here, we can see very simply you need the proper documents and you need the right rating. So, definitely make sure you have the right rating, a 4.85 and above. I ended up having a 5 star on Uber and a 5 star on Lyft. So, those guys are still up, but not used. I can't use Uber Black anymore. My car got kicked off after switching to Uber Black. So here is the first point. When you go from regular Uber to Uber Black, you are changing your Uber app status. And what that means is you can only accept Uber Black and whatever Uber Black rides qualify you for. No more regular Uber X rides. And why would you do Uber X rides, right? Well, let's say you have another vehicle. You cannot jump back onto the regular Uber X rides anymore. You do have to constantly do background checks if you are going to switch. So, FYI, if you have two vehicles, one is on Uber Black and the other one is regular Uber, just know that regular car is going to go to Lyft if you want to operate it. If not, you will not be able to have that car, that regular car, on Uber Black unless it is an Uber Black qualifying car. All right, let's move on. So you need a 4.85. Next is you're going to want to look at vehicles, right? Let's say you have some pretty good money. I'm going to say this. Look, after everything, all right, you are going to need at least, I don't know, 40 to $50,000 to start your Uber Black business. And I'm saying that not because that's how much you're going to spend on the car. For me, I personally went with a Chevy Suburban, okay, right here, Chevy Suburban, and I went with a 2024. That would give me approximately, I don't know, till 2010, so 4 years, right? So I have 4 years on the vehicle. It looks like right now Uber is saying that if you get a 2020 black SUV, Chevy Suburban, you can utilize that vehicle for 6 years, because if after this year 2026 you will not be able to use that 2020. I'm pretty sure they're going to kick you off because you're over 6, 5, 7 years. I don't know what their requirement is. I would definitely ask them. They told me 5 years, but it's showing right now 6 years. So, you know, I would call Uber and ask them. So let's say you got a 2021 black Chevy Suburban for $35,000. That means you have approximately 1 to 2 years of useful life of that vehicle to generate income through Uber Black. It is your goal to convert those regular rides to private clients by always giving them something really important, and it is not just a smile. Okay, so now that you know what car you want, right? I am not recommending or telling you to go get a Chevy Suburban because we are about to come down and see what you need. So I jumped in on the ride share, what is this? Ridesharingdriver.com. So all the links that we're going to go over to sign up for Uber Black are going to be in the description down below. But right here through this website, I did provide that website. I am on that link. Is you need commercial registration, commercial insurance, all the required permits and stickers, and other designations for commercial vehicles in your state. All other Uber driver requirements, be 21 and up, pass a background screening, and it says click there to apply. I'm not going to apply there. Okay, so these are the lists of the vehicles that qualify for Uber Black from what it says. This is dated back in 2025. Okay, so last year. Okay, so these are the vehicles of 2025. And they're not bad cars. You know, you got the Tesla Model S, Model X, Model Y, right? But these guys do not qualify for Uber Black SUV. So there's a difference. Uber Black SUV. A lot of people do get the Uber Black. Sometimes those prices are like regular rides. But most of the time, if you have an Uber Black SUV, that is the highest earning potential you can get. And these are the requirements. So you could read through these guys. Let me get them in the frame. But from what they told me, no physical damage, no scratches, no dents, no damage, no hanging headlights, none of that. You have to have a good inspection, so they're going to check your tires, your brakes, everything. They're going to give it like the 91-point inspection, and they're going to tell you if you have any issues and what they recommend, because they are going to write it in that inspection. And if you do not meet it, they'll fail you, and then you have to go fix it. I had to go get all new tires. They were like, nope, this doesn't qualify. Even though you're at the edge, go get some new tires. So I had to go get new tires right next door. But black interior, black exterior, that's the most important. It says no stickers, but you are going to have some of your LL, your puck number, or whatever the airport designates that you must have. That is another conversation. So it's also showing here the differences in earnings. So if you just go on Uber Black, you can see on your regular Uber app, you can see the amount that you would be paying if you got an Uber Black SUV from X to Y location. And as you can see, it's a pretty substantial jump. You know, you almost go 3 times what you would pay for Uber X. And that's just for Uber Black. That's not even Black SUV. So Black SUV could be like 70 to 100 bucks. But then when you are Uber Black SUV, you also have access to Uber XL and Uber XXL. So also high earning, just different clientele. So right here, it shows you the per miles in earnings per minute, base fares, and minimum base fares, right? So every ride you'll be earning a pretty good substantial amount. And these amounts increase depending on how busy, how if it's surging. There's definitely some incentives out there, but you will not see regular Uber incentives. So let's jump in. How to drive for Uber Black with a personal vehicle. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the fun stuff. This is the homework, people. All right, so that's a cool that's a cool little advertisement below. I actually am doing a polishing job on Tuesday, a whole black car, so I'm gonna be going live, and you're gonna see me detailing this Acura, and just they said they wanted a whole polishing job. They're like, I want it to look shiny. You know, it's got a bunch of scratch marks, cloudiness, all of this. You know, it's not deep paint, but they do want to buff and they do want to polish. Anyways, let's jump back into that. So first, it says right there, you're going to see if Uber Black is accepting new Uber Black accounts. I called them. They said they didn't understand my question. Do I want to sign up for Uber Black or not? So that answered my question. I don't know if they are accepting or not, or if they have a waiting list, but just give them a call. You know, it's under the Uber customer service, and you can ask them. They'll just transfer you to the Uber Black section. All right, starting a business entity. All right, so we already went through the requirements. We already went through eligible vehicles. Commercial insurance costs, not yet. Okay, so we're going to jump into your your LLC. All right, so what is an LLC? Your business entity. It could be LLC, it could be S Corp, C Corp, it could be independent. Whatever it is, you just need to file it. So if you do not have a business, right now is the time to jump on, and it doesn't cost that much. So this link for the Secretary of State is in the description, and in that description, it's very easy to get there, right? You just go to business filings. Okay, you can search your business name if you have one in mind and you want to see if it's available. You could jump in there, or if you're ready, you already checked it, just jump into here. File a business document. File a form to create a new record. Or maybe you have an existing business and you just need to restructure it. You could file a form for an existing record. Or maybe you have a business that is asleep and dead and not active. You could bring it back to life all through here. So filing a new business is really easy. What do you need? Okay, well, I want an LLC. You click on it, you read through it. Okay, the fee, I think it's like 25 bucks. And then you're either filing it as an individual or an entity. You can't see it here, but underneath it says entity. and all right, let's say individual, and yes, Colorado's license, and it goes through all of that stuff. So you just have to go through all of the steps and you can register your business. Now, it doesn't say EIN, but I definitely suggest you go get your EIN. And this is also in the description below. It's the IRS official website. Okay, it's .gov. And you could read through if you need it. Do I need it? Do I not? You apply for it. All right, it's going to ask you again, do I need it? Do I really need it? Begin the application. And it's going to be the same thing, probably a little easier and a little bit quicker. And you just save your form. You save your business entity, LLC. And now you call your insurance and you see if you get a commercial insurance quote. Now look, I paid $1,400 a month. Okay. Now, I also paid up front $3,200 for the first month's, last month's, or what was it? 1,400. So like 3,000 something, right? So let's say 3,200 bucks to get the policy active, right? With a $500 deductible, and I think it was insured for like 1.5 or $2 million, right? And the vehicle's insured too. So you get your insurance, you get your vehicle, all right? Let's say you found a vehicle for $35,000, all right? Let's say you also got your quote. You paid what, like 3,200 bucks and then $1,400 a month. Great. Okay. What else do you need? Well, you also need to register your car with the state under the Public Utilities and Commissions. You are going to also click on the link in the description below, and you're going to go and click on transportation. And it's really easy. You're going to read through it. You're going to see all that information, and then you're going to click apply for a new or renew an annual permit. You click on it, and you just search the permit. If you don't have one, you just apply for a luxury limousine service, okay, because you're a luxury limousine. All right, and then you go through the whole thing. You can also call the Publics and Utilities Commissions to make sure you are applying for the right one, okay? After that, you go and get commercial registration. I also provided to you what you need, the link in the description down below, okay? So that way you don't miss anything, and you go register your vehicle for commercial plates. Now, it's not as easy as these instructions right here, okay? Check out if Uber is accepting. Okay, it is. You made your business, LLC, EIN, great. You got commercial insurance, okay. You got a qualifying vehicle, okay. You also need to get a state inspection, which is going to be provided by the Public Utilities and Commissions, which you are going to upload to Uber, which the Public Utilities and Commissions will require, and I think maybe the DMV also. Here's another big one. You are now at, let's say, $40,000. Well, guess what? You're going to go to the DMV and they're going to tell you, all right, you bought it for $35K. You're going to pay $3,500 in registration, taxes, and plates for your vehicle. So be aware that it does come with a big cost. So if you bought it private party, maybe you bought it a lot cheaper because it was somehow damaged and you got it for like, I don't know, 5, 10,000, maybe $500, I don't know, and you restored it, whatever. You know, just be aware you will have a large tax, especially when you bring in the bill of sale, the title, and everything. You are also going to need an airport inspection. So yes, you will need to be at the airport. If you get an Uber Black vehicle in Colorado, you are not going to be driving around in DTC or Denver. You will be at the airport. You are getting an Uber Black SUV vehicle because that is honestly the biggest place you can get the most clients. Now, I told you you need something very important with you once you get all of this rocking and rolling, and that is your business cards. If you are a regular Uber driver or an Uber Black driver, you need business cards. They are going to always ask you for business cards. In any business I've ever been in, sushi restaurant, sushi franchise, donut franchise, food truck, insurance, just any type of sales, car detailing, they all wanted a business card. So go make yourself some business cards and go sit at the Denver airport because you only get 1 free week of Denver airport usage once you get your Uber Black requirements. So this is what the steps look like, okay? All in order. get your LLC and EIN first, okay? Then, once you get your LLC EIN, you make sure that you qualify for Uber Black. You go look for a vehicle. Now, before you get that vehicle, you get that VIN number and you call your commercial insurance broker. I called 3, and I ended up using my actual insurance broker, the one that I use for my vehicle. And there's Byberg, there's Progressive, Allstate. I went with Progressive. So they gave me a pretty fair quote, $1,400 a month, $3,200 for the first to start up the policy, right? So once you see how much that is, you don't have to activate it yet because you don't have the car. Then you can go and call your public utilities and commissions, and you get all that paperwork. You fill it out. You get your car. You start the paperwork right away. All right, and you get your insurance because you can't get anything without insurance. So you activate the insurance. This is day 1. Okay, you file everything because now you have your VIN number and all your vehicle information, everything. Okay, you file it. You got to start quick. Oh, don't forget about DIA or your airport. You're going to want to start that too. Why am I telling you to start really fast? Because they take time. The Public Utilities and Commissions website was having an issue when I was filing. So this was not popping up the first time, and they thought I was stupid until they're like, oh yeah, we're having technical issues, and we've been having it for like 2 weeks. It should be up pretty soon. Well, 2 weeks later, it was up, and I was stuck sitting with the bag in my hand, meaning the car not really being used, and I was sitting there with a month. So I activated the insurance. I'm about to pay my next month, and I don't even have red plates. I'm not even on Uber Black. So make sure everything is up in atoms and ready to go. The weather doesn't have to be perfect for you to jump in, but I'm just saying, be prepared. So once we look at all of this again, okay, you get the vehicle, you get all the local licenses and permits, and then you begin the application process. No, you begin the application process to get the licensing and permits, but you can still begin the Uber Black process. You upload your vehicle's information. Great. Do you have your insurance? Great. Do you have your registration? Not yet. Okay. Well, that's all you're going to need. And then the background check is also part of the Uber Black. So there are a couple options here where when it comes down to what you're going to do to be an Uber Black driver. You know, lots of options for cars. I suggest you get an SUV. Hands down, get the SUV. It's much more versatile, and it's just something people are really loving. You know, they sit in the back with all the space. It's really clean. It smells really nice. You detail it. You get a detailer like me or somebody or yourself, and you make sure that it's clean. I ended up polishing the whole car. I put a ceramic coat on that bad boy, and I put it to work. So let me tell you what I would have done differently, okay? The number one thing I would have done is, well, first of all, you need $50,000 to start this, right? $40,000 to $50,000 to give yourself even 2 to 3 months max of cushion. Because let's say 1 month is to get everything started, and then the next 2 months are earning. Let's say after a month, you're up and running. Well, you're only operating that vehicle 12 hours, which means it's asleep 12 hours because you're asleep 8 to 10 whatever hours, right? Let's say you sleep 8 hours or 7 or 6 and you wake up and you go make your breakfast. You do what you got to do for the day. You know, you go to the gym, you make breakfast and lunch, you get your snacks ready, get the car cleaned up, fueled up, you're ready to go. This car ate about half a tank a night, if not 3/4 of a tank a night or per day. I operated it. I would wait at DIA in the waiting lot in the morning. I would suggest 4 to 5:30, and you just get there, okay? Because everybody's going to be piling in at 6 o'clock. Okay, you bring your snacks, you bring your coffee, you bring your food. You cannot leave the lot because you're hungry. You will lose your spot. So you have to sit in there, okay? And you have to be in a specific area. Then you got to wait. And then, this is the funny part. You could get a ride, and you could click it, and it might not even attach to you. So you got a really good ride, you clicked it, and now for some reason you didn't get it. Okay, you're like, all right, maybe it's my Wi-Fi, I wasn't quick enough. You click it again. You still didn't get nothing. Now you're there all day for 8 hours because the flights are done. Not everybody's going to get an Uber Black SUV. So if you miss it, you miss it. So you are not guaranteed to click on that ride even when you click it. And I'm pretty sure the regular Uber people also know that frustration, you can click on the ride and it will not lock on to you. And it's not that you're slow. It just, I don't know. I don't know what it does. It just says it didn't match with you. So everybody got the ride. Everybody's clicking on it, and it's just seeing who it wants to choose. So yeah, I mean, your days basically look like you're not driving outside of DIA. You're handing out those cards. You pick them up, you take them back, and you give them a business card. So what's the secret to all of this, right? If I was to redo this all over again, what would I have done? Listen, there are a lot of people out there in your city, in your state that want to do Uber Black. And this is a business, folks. So when you get the car, it's commercially registered, meaning the business owns the vehicle. So it doesn't matter. Um, so you could have your own business, your partner could have another business, and now you're both operating on different time schedules. You're driving in the day, they're driving at night. You're driving at night, they're driving in the day. And let's say you have a second vehicle. When you get private clients, guess what, folks? You don't need to use the Uber Black required vehicles, right? So if it says a 2020 black SUV and you have a 2015 and it looks just the same as a 2020, you could use a 2015 as make sure you have commercial insurance on it, okay? The commercial plates, whatever it is, pick them up. Private clients get the 2015 SUV Suburban, and you can continue because you will have to continually build your client list at DIA. You could try downtown, but look, if they're coming in for a convention, they're flying in. So hand everybody out your business cards. When you pick them up downtown, hand them a business card. Hey, I'm really easy. You just text me and I'll be there. I'll text me the address and the time and I'll pick you up. I already know what you look like. I'll tell you where I'm at. I'll share my location. Whatever perks you want to give them. They're going to want to use you. They're going to be scared, especially if they go up into the mountains. Give them a business card. Regular Uber, Uber Black, get a business card. All right. I made business cards for Uber drivers because they liked my stickers. They liked my cards. When you get your Uber Black vehicle, put your decals for your LLC or whatever it is that you require for the DIA and the PUC, and then put your business information. Let's say you call yourself, you got a Tesla Model Y, Tesla Taxi. Boom. You call yourself Tesla Taxi. Tesla Taxi text here. Boom. Put your number. Put a QR code, whatever it is. Have a QR code in the car. You need, there are so many Uber Black SUV drivers. There are so many fleet owners. People have partnered up. That's why I'm telling you, you could drive for a fleet or you could drive with a friend. And it's a business, so it's all going towards a business account. And guess what? You have your own Uber Black account, and they have their own Uber Black account, and you can share the same Uber Black car as long as your names are on the insurance. Not even the registration, just the insurance. So you got your business car, you sign up, you get your car. Now you're operating that Uber Black SUV 24/7. Your earnings are going to vary, all right? So it's not talking about earnings in here. So when I jump on it, it doesn't really tell you how much you're going to be making or even how much you make for driving an Uber fleet. But just expect, let's say $6,000 minimum. If for some reason you're struggling, I was struggling. So I started off making 6 and then I ended up making 10. All right. And the private rides are the best ones. Hey, there's a lot of people that have season passes to the NFL games, to the basketball games, to the Rockies games. Hey, I'll pick you up. You have season passes, I'll pick you up. Boom, bing, bang, boom. You pick them up, they get drunk, you take them home safely. They go to the hospital, they go to the hotels, they go to the airports, whatever you need to drive, wherever they need to be driven, whoever they need transported, that is your job. So folks, that is it for me for today on trying to make this as quickly as possible, as easy for your ears as possible. Go make a friend. Okay, this $50K could end up just being $25,000. You're investing $25,000 to make $6,000 to $10,000+ a month, all right? And I had a private client by the very end who's like, look, don't sell your car, I'll pay you more. And I was like, no, I really want to fly. I cannot do this every day and keep you as my private client and continue to do Uber Black. That was just not meeting my flying standards. I shifted and I got out of it. But if I had a partner, I would have continued to do it. They would continue to drive it. I would continue to drive it. The pressure and the stress is a lot less. So let's go over it. All right. Why did I say 40 to 50K? Because you're investing a lot into that insurance. So make sure you get your insurance quote because you do not want to be blown away. You could buy this car cash. You don't even have to finance it. Let's say you both save up 25K, all right, and you go buy the car cash, you invested in the insurance cash, and all these others cash, or you use credit. So there's plenty of different options when it comes to making Uber Black a reality. I just highly suggest you check your market, you research it, you ask a bunch of drivers. They're not always going to tell you how to do it and how it goes, but I'm just here to tell you, don't go finance a car, don't go buy a new car, don't go buy a used Suburban just because you want to do Uber Black, all right? Just because you heard you could make 6 to 10 grand. At the very end, after 6 to 10 grand, you could still only be netting $4,000 a month. That's not bad, but regular Uber, without having such an expensive insurance and all of these other requirements, you're probably still making $4,000 a month, or let's say like $25 to $3,000 a month still on regular Uber. So, definitely do the math. And really, if you're already at the Uber waiting lot in DIA and you're there all day waiting for a ride, then Uber Black is going to be no different. You cannot be off of that app. That app is open 24/7 if you want to get a ride. So you could click it and it could be instant. And if you're not on that app, if you're napping or sleeping or away from it, or you went to the bathroom and you're not in the waiting block and you don't get the ride, you just wasted a whole day. And what are you going to do after there's nobody left in the lot? You're probably going to go downtown, and then it's going to tell you you've driven too much. So plan it out. Get some honest feedback out there. Do your research, folks. And yeah, I highly suggest that you guys do this with a team. I would not suggest it on your own, especially if you want to make the most amount out of that vehicle. And especially this, you only have, let's say, 4 to 6 years of useful life of your vehicle. So don't let that just sit outside, you know. But that's it for me, folks. If you have any questions on how to be an Uber Black driver in your state or your city, definitely reach out in the comments, send a message. Be sure to like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. I've been live streaming my flight training. I've been live streaming my flights. And now I'm just trying something new. I'm just going to share how to do things. So the next thing I'm going to share with you guys is how to be a detailer. I built a 5-star detailing business here in Colorado. It's still active, but I also created a new 5-star business after reviving and reselling it back to the owner. I created another one, and it's been going pretty good. I'm actually about to send them some messages. I already have a polishing job scheduled for Tuesday, but I'm about to send some messages just to get the ball rolling. I'm like, I really do like cars. They let me drive nice cars. I get to make them smell nice, and I'll take a couple photos. They let me use it. So, I'm going to look for a Ferrari. So listen, if you folks are in Colorado and you need a 5-star detail, maybe you got some dog hair in not your Ferrari or not your G-Wagon. Maybe you need your boat cleaned for the summer. It's hot boat summer, okay? If you got an RV and you're about to go camping and it's not shiny on the road, you got to call me. All right, your cars, your planes, your boats, your RVs, they need me and my team. So reach out to Top Colorado Mobile Detailing here. But also, we're going to go live and do some flight training a little bit later. I'm going to hop on and just record another video to show you guys how to be a detailer. Everything you need, the costs of being a detailer, and then also the profits of being a detailer. But it's not that easy. It is not that easy. And then another video series is going to be donuts, how to have a donut shop, how to open up a sushi restaurant, how to get a sushi restaurant franchise, how to get a food truck, how to do pop-ups. I mean, shoot, insurance, sales, public speaking. What else? Did I mention car detailing? But if you guys have any questions and you want to see any of this, you want to see any of the learning, be sure to let me know. I'm going to be throwing an event where I show you live how to detail. So I'm going to show you virtually how I am doing now on what you need to be a detailer. And then if you want to join the live session, which I will be live streaming as well, and I'll host it here at the detail. It's not really a shop, but I just pop up a tent, the little canopy, and I put it in the front in the commercial building, and I just detail out there. I get a long hose. Um, but folks, if you're trying to be an Uber Black driver, go do it. It's very demanding. I highly suggest. What do I suggest? I suggest you meal prep. I suggest you go to the gym because you're going to be sitting a lot. You're going to be stretching a lot. And at that Uber lot, you're going to be sitting a lot and napping a lot. So definitely look into it and see if it's worth it. I think it's very worth it. The guy that I bought the Uber Black SUV from, he went from driving Uber Black to fixing cars. So, buying cheap. I'll tell you a little secret. Here's a little secret sauce, folks. Let's say you buy a bunch of Uber cars, right? Let's say you take them from salvage to clean, right? Or you buy broken down, clean title cars, right? You buy all the cars that qualify for Uber X, right? You could literally buy the last year of that vehicle, the oldest vehicle on there, get it registered, grandfather it in, and continue to drive it forever. And this is what I mean. You could just rent out these vehicles. You know how I told you you could get in the insurance, show that you're insured, but not be on the registration or be on the registration? Well, you could easily just buy a car, a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 Prius, fix it up, make it run good. Doesn't have to look good, okay? Because it's an Uber X ride. It's cheap as well. You're getting $4 a ride. You don't need a Lexus or a Chevy Suburban. You just need a car. And I personally love the Toyota Prius. I have a 2011. It's almost got 400,000 miles, and it's still pumping. It's still banging on the road, and it's still driving like a tank through the blizzards across the nation, east to west coast. I've taken it east to west coast. Have not taken it north to south coast. Nor do I want to. I don't really think there's anything up or down there, except for California and Florida. Anyways, maybe Texas. I don't know. Georgia, Alabama. I don't know. Louisiana. Who knows? Anyways, folks, what I'm saying is this guy went from Uber Black SUV. I bought it. Went to California, picked it up. Had to go back because his business needed to sign it, not me. So go back. And I was like, hey, why don't you do an Uber Black? He's like, because I not only have a body shop, but I restore cars. Not really restore them, but I buy them crappy, I fix them up, and I rent out these cars. So you could buy a $2,000-$3,000 Toyota Prius and rent it out for like $200, $250 or $400 a month to somebody that wants to either use it for rideshare or for delivery, because all they really need is just insurance showing that they can drive that vehicle and to, use that vehicle for signing up that car. And there you go. You don't always have to drive it, but you have access to it. So let's say you drive for 1 month, you make what you need to, you don't need to use it anymore. All right, you give it back. You go back another month, you rent it for $400 if it's available. If not, you rent another car. Then you got to get it registered. You go through the process. So basically, you could have, I don't know, 10 $3,000 cars. That's $30,000 right there. That all make you $400 a month. Let's say $200 a month, right? So 10 cars, $200 a month. What? 20,000 bucks? Is that my math right? Let's see. 200 times 10. 2,000 bucks. All right. Get 2,000 bucks a month. All right. I was thinking for the year. 2,000 bucks a month. That's $2,400, $24,000 a year on, I don't know, $30,000 cars. So after a year and a couple months, you make your money back. But you own these cars, you're not financing them, and everything is getting covered. As long as it's being covered, you're still making money. So you're not paying any bills. You're just, hey, it only takes you about a year and a half to recoup your upfront costs. Now you have multiple income coming in. 2,000 bucks a month just on renting your vehicles, maintaining them. Hey, if they damage it, they fix it, they pay for it. You create contracts, whatever. Anyways, folks, that was a little tidbit right there for you. A little business idea. Buy a couple crappy cars, make sure they qualify for Uber, rent them out to the people that can qualify for Uber. But also, they're grandfathered in for you or they're grandfathered in for them, but then also they won't be able to register it under Uber after that year or two. So just make sure it qualifies. It's in there. It's in the range. It doesn't hurt. But folks, if you have any questions, if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video to someone that you believe is a good partner for Uber Black. So guess what, folks? If you got this video and someone shared this to you and you watched it to the very end, they believe you are a great safe driver to go make $10,000+ with them. They trust you and they want to make bank with you. They want to ball on a budget right now, but they want to be successful with you. So go make some money with them. Alrighty, folks. So that's it for today. That's all it takes to be an Uber Black driver here in Colorado. It just takes 50 grand or 25K with a buddy. So stay safe. It's getting chilly out there. Stay up to date. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, blah, blah, blah.